Doge just does not look good to me, and I want to talk about why that is. I've got the daily chart in front of me. We'll get started in just a second. Here's the disclaimers for this YouTube video. Be sure to check this out. Pause the video, read this if you'd like. I'll also include it in the description of the video. To start out with, we'll go to tradingview.com. It's one of my favorite tools just to get a bearing for how the crypto market is looking, and I'm going to look at their technical analysis for Doge. We're going to start on the 1 day, and it's ugly. One day time frame is showing a sell. Oscillators are showing a sell. Moving averages a strong sell. On the 1 week, I also see a sell. Oscillators are neutral. Moving averages a sell. And on the 1 month, a sell. Oscillators a sell. Moving averages a sell. Doge just does not look healthy at this point. All of crypto is struggling really since December, or excuse me, since January. We reached our highs, it appears, so far in December, and January has not been a kind month, and we're going to talk about that. But even with some of the big run-ups that we had in October, starting in October to January, these run-ups we had across crypto, Doge has struggled, might be too big of a word because we're still up 50% from October. So struggled is a bad word when you're up. It's not the correct word when you're up 50% in 3 months, but compared to some other coins, it has struggled. VET doubled. Solana went 6 times its October low, and it's not there now, but it's still about 4 times. ADA almost, did ADA double? I think ADA double. Yeah. Doge and ADA are kind of similar. My point is, Doge just did not run as much as some of the other coins did. We were at roughly 0.058. I'm going to round that to 0.06 just to have easy math. And we didn't even make it up to 0.12, which would have doubled this. We made it up to 0.1 in December. Now, that was just not as big of a run as other coins had. And so that was a little concerning right there. There were definitely other big coins with bigger market caps or similar market caps that did well. And then ever since then, we've really had this struggle since the 1st of December. You can see Doge fell down in this downward channel. And then I'm going to shorten this because it doesn't mean much now. This was kind of indicating the run up we had up to December. And then it traded sideways for a while until we experienced the Bitcoin flush on January 3rd. And that Bitcoin flush was this day right here on Bitcoin. That was caused by absolutely untrue and unsubstantiated and absolutely false rumors that the SEC was going to deny the Bitcoin ETFs. And of course, those ETFs did get approved, but Bitcoin went from 45,000 and a half to 41 and a half in a matter of 2 hours. And this was the damage done to Doge. It broke this 0.086 approximate. That's just an approximate level. It held right here, and that's the reason I had it here, because it was the open and close of this day. This wick held it pretty well. This wick held it to the dot. And as you can see, it still has some importance as this price went up and then broke it and then was rejected. So this level right here was broken by that Bitcoin flush and the fallout of it. And ever since then, we have been in this range from 0.075 to 0.086. Now, what we have now is all based on what Bitcoin is doing. The reason crypto is struggling right now, well, there's 2 reasons. One, we had a fantastic run up from October to December. Okay, some coins went up 75% at the least. Some coins like Solana went up 500%. Okay, so it's really hard to complain. Even with Doge, like I've already mentioned, we're still up 50% from back in October. But Bitcoin, which is what the markets tend to follow a lot of the time, kind of broke out of its upward rising channel that it had been in since December. It broke out of that a few days before the ETF approval and actually started challenging 47,000. And on the day after the ETFs were approved, it pushed up and tagged 49,000. Since then, really, it's been a disaster. It seems apparent that, as others have said before, this 48,000 to 50,000 was going to be a difficult barrier to get through. There was a lot of resistance, and people were calling, people that know more than me, were saying, look, once it gets to 48 to 50, that's just going to be the end of this run. It's going to have to fall down, find its base again before it makes another run and starts trying to break 50. Some are calling for it to fall as low as 36 to 34,000 somewhere, which, looking at this weekly chart, does not look like that's going to be impossible to see. So what Bitcoin is doing right now is falling. It looks like some post ETF approval blues, people taking profits, perhaps the people who were in the know had already bought based on the rumors and the assumption the ETFs were going to be approved, and they held a day or two to find out what would happen after that, and now they're taking their profits. I foresee Bitcoin falling out of this channel, this upward rising channel, and starting to challenge 40,000 again. What will happen at 40,000? I don't know. We'll have to see. But it does not seem unconscionable that it could break 40,000 and start sliding down into the upper 30s. I don't know that that's going to happen, but look at the chart. I mean, look at the chart. $40,000 or 40,000 is just one more bad day of Bitcoin falling, and then you're going to be having to wrestle with that 40,000 and hoping it'll maintain support. And there's really nothing there to indicate it will, other than it being a big round number. Like I said, it falling down to this level right here would not be surprising. Doge is going to, if Bitcoin does that, I have to assume Doge is going to fall into this level, which is going to be 0.065 to 0.075. And I honestly believe this is the next level we're headed to, somewhere right around here, 0.065 for Doge. This line is here because it just is the bottom of a couple of days here. It's kind of the bottom of this day. It's an art, not a science. It's a decent number. You could even put a line here at 0.062 if you wanted to, the bottom of this swing low. There's a couple of lines you could draw, but it looks to me like Doge, if Bitcoin keeps falling, Doge is going to end up right here and will probably range for a while and hopefully find some footing. Goodness gracious, I don't want to see it fall below 0.065 and start revisiting these October lows. That would just seem like an entirely waste of a run for Doge. That would be most disappointing if I was holding Doge, which I'm not at this point, but I wouldn't want to see that for anyone. So I'm hoping, I do think we'll end up in this level, but I'm hoping that would be as low as we go. It's all going to depend on Bitcoin. The problem with Doge is it did not run up as much. So if it reacts to Bitcoin falling as, equally as the other coins, it's going to fall not further, but it didn't have as much to give away. And that's my concern with Doge, is it just doesn't have as much to give away as someone like maybe a vet, or let's see, its lows were back here about 0.015. This is its next level it may end up challenging, or certainly not Solana. Okay, Solana is probably going to start challenging this level, and it's still going to be 3 to 4 times as much as it was back in October. So the fact that Doge just did not go up as much is giving it a problem, because it looks like it is not going to be insulated from the Bitcoin fall that appears to be happening now. All right, let's keep an eye on Doge. We'll see what happens. That's all I can say right now. I'll keep you updated.